For us, unusually timed Thursday meeting of the Hawke's Bay Regional Council. Welcome to media and members of the public, and let's kick things off with the prayer, which I don't actually... Do you have a copy of the prayer, please? So if you could stand, please. O God, our Creator, bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so that we will work for the good of our community and help all your people. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. We ask this grace through Christ our Lord. Amen. Right, welcome prayer. Apologies. Any apologies for today? None. Notices. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I have two notices. They're both dates for your diaries for next year. One is the 12th of February as the provisional date for a visit to Napier Port by all councils. I know you've been recently, but this is an invitation that's been extended to all councils from Hawke's Bay. And the second is again a provisional date of the 4th and 5th of March for a visit to Wairoa District by this council. Again, provisional, and we need to get feedback from you as to how those will work. By email later.
Digest the dates and come back to us. I'll come back to Liz or Di. Councillor Hewitt.
So the local government workshop is... I'll just bring it up.
Oh, we'll do that.
Yep.
Not so much now, but later in the meeting I'll ask for
All right, thank you.
The 4th and 5th of March, which is I think is a Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah. Yes.
No other notices? Okay. Conflict of interest declaration. Thank you. Confirm the minutes of the meeting on the 6th of November. Now, this was quite a time. So if you bear with me, I'll go through it page by page for accuracy. Page 2, page 3. 4, 5. Page 6, page 7. 8, 9. 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yes, Councillor Rick.
It has since been corrected, but the first paragraph on page 20, Leanne, I brought that to Leanne's attention, and you've done something with that, haven't you?
It's actually on page 15.
That's where...
Is where it comes into play. And I
Righto.
Could you elaborate on that? Just I haven't seen the update.
You'll see at the top of the page there's no recommendation or no resolution, and it says the approved document, any attachments will be available for public inspection in accordance with the Remuneration Authority's determination carried by Bevan and Dick, but no resolution.
Oh, I see. Okay.
However, I think it's been fixed.
It's been fixed, okay. So, has everyone got a copy of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I emailed that around as well.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So, whereabouts is that done?
So
Page 15.
Sorry, what it was that was that last paragraph was actually part of the policy, not part of the
Right.
resolution. So I've moved the resolutions to be together with the mover and seconder, and then put the policy following, just so it's clearly separate.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's fine.
Right, so we're back to page 19. I'm just going through for accuracy. 2021.
Chairman, I think on item on page 21, one.
Mr. Chairman, this is for the Environment and Services Committee, so that's the nominations for Chair and Deputy Chair, and the Corporate and Strategic is over on page 23.
Well, there's a
Oh.
mistake in here. There's
There's a redundant sentence.
redundant sentence.
Where?
Page 21.
Where?
Sorry, Environment Services.
Oh, yeah.
Next
So I see what you mean. It should be yes.
unopposed.
It's,
Oh.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's going like this.
So it should actually
Thank you,
be
Councillor
around-
Belford. Yep. So that's a
Position of
redundant
deputy.
sentence. Yeah. Okay.
Chairman of the
Well, that's not redundant.
Around the place as much as I like, but a few extra letters in my name is really unnecessary.
Where are those?
Oh, yeah.
Scotter.
Stop it.
Oh, yes.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think that sentence that Councillor Belford referred to is not redundant, but it should just be corrected to say elects unopposed to the position of Deputy Chair of the Environment and Services Committee. Yeah.
Thank you, Liz.
Okay. Thank you. 22, 23. 24, 25, 26, 27, page 28, 29, page 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, page 36, page 37, and page 38. Someone happy to move that they're a true and correct record of proceedings? Councillor Dick, thank you. Seconded. We have a seconder. Councillor Belford. I'll put that motion then. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried. Thank you. Okay, matters arising from those
Do you
minutes.
think we could have a corrected hard copy set circulated?
Yes. Will be done. Matters arising. Thank you. Okay. Follow-ups from previous council meetings.
I'm sorry, I should have raised one matter. Matter is arising. Well, it's not usual to put the code of conduct in the minutes, and I hope that that has been circulated as a separate item to all councillors. It should stand alone as a document that all councillors should have reference to.
Just thank you. Has that been done or in
I'm
program?
not sure, so we'll double check.
You'll check on that. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Page 3, follow-ups from council meetings. I'll hand that over to the Chief Executive.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item is a follow-up from the previous meeting in regard to the charging regime for requests under the Local Government Official Information Act. Ms. Hooper, could you, you've responded to that, could you just elaborate on that and the adoption of standing orders, please?
Yes. In terms of the charging regime for the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act, we do adhere to the legislation, and in practice, it's usually more like anything over 2 to 3 hours that we'll do an estimate of costs and go back to the requester at that stage. And other than that, there's in the annual plan, there is our charging policy under the accounting information as well.
Thank you.
Any
And the
questions, sorry, on that?
Yes, there is.
Councillor Barker, good morning.
Good morning. I think I raised this on the basis of whether or not it was a barrier to people seeking information. And I would say that I'm pleased to hear that the Regional Council adheres to the legislation. I'd be appalled if it didn't. So that's a tick. Secondly, yes, it may well be in the annual plan, and you may well have 2 to 3 hours, but that does not address the question that I asked and what the report on. What I wanted to know was, is our charging regime a barrier to people seeking information? Now, it's a piece of analysis. So what we would require is the number of applications we've had, the number of times that people have been asked for information and then have been told what the cost is, and the number of people who have subsequent to that information have continued, and the number of people who have subsequent to that information being supplied have discontinued with their request. Now, that's not in your report. Now, I can't make a decision on this.
Well, it's fine. You've asked the question, Councillor.
And I will be able to get that information out to you tomorrow by email, because we have a database that we use for tracking the requests and exactly specifically what's that. So
well, I'd like it on the follow-up for the next meeting, so it's on the public record. Yeah. But that was the question that was asked.
Yes.
And the response I've had does not address the question.
Right.
Thank you.
That's fine.
No other questions around that? Thank you. So, Ms Hooper, item 2. Yeah.
I've asked, that's just about putting the amendments into your copies of the standing orders, and so I sent an email either yesterday or the day before just requesting that you bring them along. I'll collect them up, pin the various amendments in, and then return them to you so that you've got what's current in your copies. All right?
Councillor Barker.
Could I make a suggestion that rather than take these documents and cut and paste and pin things in, which I've seen done before with bookers and other legal documents, which makes it really complicated, could I suggest that the standing orders as we've adopted be dealt with electronically, that you make the electronic amendments to them and just email to us the updated standing orders?
Sorry, the issue with that is that they are copyright to the Standards New Zealand, and we are not able to do that electronically. They will provide us with a PDF copy, which is charged for, and they're unalterable PDF files, which is why we've done it on the paper copy.
Well, could I respond to that and say, well, if I ever had my suggestion of us developing our own standing orders at the first meeting, it's firmed up in my mind. Absolutely. If we have our standing orders of copyright held by someone else, then I'm utterly opposed to that. It's in the same category, in my opinion, as someone putting a patent on my genome. I'm not going to have that. These standing orders belong to us. They're ours. They're for the 9 councillors, and we should have absolute control over them.
And we're working through that discussion. Councillor. Okay.
Mr Chairman, I'm perfectly happy with what is proposed. It works. It's worked forever, and I don't see any necessity for change.
Okay. Let's move on. Item 3, Mr Drury, Councillor Rem and allowances.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. There needed to be some clarification on communication allowances and technology that would and could be made available to councillors now. There was a letter that went out to councillors over 2 weeks ago setting out the terms and conditions of the communication allowance, council's willingness to provide councillors, if they so chose, an iPad, and a number of councillors have come back on that, so there is some action on that, Mr Chairman.
Thank you. And
the last
Last
one.
item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologise for not having filled in the status comment. We were at the strategic workshop and it slipped my mind. This is, there will be a paper coming to the Corporate and Strategic Committee on the 11th of December, or to Council on the 18th of December, depending on how the agendas pan out, to begin this discussion, and we will be able to arrange the next steps for that as at that meeting. So a wider public meeting is unlikely, with the mayors, is unlikely to be held before the end of the year, but I think it's important that you, as the decision makers, have your input first before we invite other stakeholders to the meeting.
Councillor Belford.
So are you saying that the discussion at this next upcoming meeting is simply going to be another discussion about what process we're going to follow to have a public discussion of this, or is it going to be the commencement of what we actually asked for, which is a dive into the issues here?
The initial agenda item is around what the information that you will be seeking, so that to help guide us on what to provide for any ongoing or upcoming public discussion. So what we want to be able to do is to ensure that in the first instance that the issues you want raised are going to be addressed.
Right.
Well, I understood Councillor Belford's request to be in the form that we would have the appropriate representatives of HBRC invited to council, and they would give the open council a briefing on where they're up to, and councillors would be given the opportunity to ask them questions in the public forum. I don't think that's a complicated matter, and I would have thought that we would simply set the date, and I would suggest the next council meeting in December, invite them to attend the meeting, give them an opportunity to have a 20-minute presentation, which we will listen to, and after that I would say an extended time for answering questions.
That happens anyway.
The HBRC have a standing agenda item on council agendas to provide an update to you, and the next scheduled one is the 18th of December, so that will be the opportunity for exactly that to occur.
There is a complicating matter. If we want the region's mayors to have an equal opportunity to come, the chances of getting them before Christmas will be minimal, I would think.
Could I respond to that?
No. There's no need to respond to that. Any other questions around it? Okay, Councillor Belford.
I do have a comment about it. We're the decision makers on this ultimately. I'm happy for the mayors to have whatever forum the mayors can get their butts to attend, but it's our schedule, it's our moving train here, and what Councillor Barker has said is what I expected would happen before the end of the year, that there would be a rather extensive opportunity to question whoever made most sense about the status of this project and some of the rationale for it.
And as has been said, we do get a briefing or that opportunity every council meeting. So, not today, obviously.
I'd like to move a motion.
You happy to move? Thank you, Councillor
I'll
Barker.
move that the mayors of the Hawke's Bay local authorities be invited to attend the 18th of December meeting of the Regional Council for the purposes of hearing the briefing from HBRC and be offered the opportunity to participate by way of questions directly to the representatives of HBRC at that meeting.
Just can we tie this up with the whole paper? So you're moving the paper, moving that we accept this item,
Well,
and then as part of that motion, you are also wanting that piece added, correct?
well,
Otherwise, we're going to let's get our business done as well while we're doing this.
I don't see another motion that I can tie it to.
On page 3 of the agenda.
But I've got another amendment to come.
On the
Yeah.
action items.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's tie the whole lot in one perhaps motion. What's your other amendment?
My other thing is that I asked for a paper to come back on policy development, the process of policy development for oil and gas exploration and public consultation for the development policy. And I don't see it here on the action items.
Okay. Well,
Sorry, through you, Mr. Chairman. That is coming back to the Corporate and Strategic Committee agenda on the 11th of December. There's a paper being developed on that as a result of your request.
Thank you, but it would have been helpful if it had been on this list as well as to where it was tracking. Okay, well, I'm happy to move that the report be. Where's the resolution over the page? If I get myself to you. That the council receives a report, quote, follow-ups from the previous council meetings, close quotes, and that.
seconded for that. And the mayors be invited to the meeting on the 18th where we have a briefing.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Or Councillor Balfour's already seconded that. Moved and seconded. You wish to speak further, Councillor Barker, Councillor Balfour? Anyone else wish to speak? Councillor Dick.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I've got no problem with this, and I'll vote for it. But if there's a presumption that the mayors, including the two newly elected mayors, are unaware of the process and what has been happening, then that is just absolutely not correct. Because the present mayor of Hastings and Central Hawke's Bay have been fully briefed along the way. The new mayor of Napier has been fully briefed along the way. The new mayor of Wairau has been fully briefed along the way.
Any other speakers?
And I'll just ask you to confirm that, Mr. Chairman.
I'll speak as well. Councillor
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the sentiments, and I hope the mayors understand that they can attend any of our meetings. They are public. But there has been a recent briefing by HBRC of the councils. It was a cross-council briefing, and the standard reporting item on keeping us up to date is a standard item on keeping this council regularly up to date. What I understood from the action item is that we're looking for a next stage of the briefing that we did just a while ago, getting all councillors in the area up to date with the full, so it would be a dedicated meeting. And I hope that doesn't get lost sight of. And certainly trying to hold it before Christmas would be totally and utterly inappropriate because everyone has a lot of commitments at that time. So I'm hoping in February that we will get information on the date and the format for that prior to the public consultation.
I'll take an opportunity to speak. The mayors are up to speed to a certain extent. Yet another opportunity wouldn't go amiss. In fact, I'd go as far to say that the mayors should attend all our meetings because it would be a very good use of their time. To keep up to speed what's happening in the region, and I think this is a good motion. I will be supporting it. You wish to sum up, Councillor?
I just want to make one thing very clear. If anybody has taken the imputation that by moving this motion and implying that the mayors are not briefed, I reject that utterly. There was no such comment made and no such way that you could do. The idea was mooted by Peter Bevan at the time of previous discussions we had about this, and it just seemed that it drifted off. And I just want to say I thought Peter's idea, Councillor Bevan's idea, was a very good one. I see this as a regional issue, and I see this as an issue which we should all feel that we're on the same plane on. And by inviting the councillors specifically to our briefing is, in my opinion, an act of goodwill. And gives them the opportunity to turn up. If they are too busy and cannot attend, well, so be it. But there's like all things, if the invitation is extended, people feel this is a positive move. If they can't attend, well, that's the issue. And I just think it's about common sense. And I just reject any comment that says there's imputations about this, about people not doing the job or not being briefed. There's none of that whatsoever.
Thank you. I'll put the motion in. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. Carried. Thank you. Right. Item